Every time you drive past a construction site, you see it. The excavators, the scissor lifts, the concrete mixers, the scaffolding, millions of dollars worth of equipment. Moving, digging, building, and you probably think someone had to buy all of that. But here's the thing. Most people never think about. Almost none of that equipment is owned by the construction company using it. It's rented. And the company behind that rental, it just made money while you were stuck in traffic watching those machines work. This is the story of one of the most quietly powerful industries in America. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at a construction site the same way again. To understand how this industry prints money, you first have to understand the problem it was built to solve. Imagine you're a contractor. You just landed a big job, a new office building downtown. The client wants it done in 8 months. You need a boom lift for 2 weeks, an excavator for 3 weeks, a concrete pump for 4 days. To buy all of that outright, you're looking at over $1 million just for equipment. Equipment that will sit idle the other 48 weeks of the year. Equipment that needs maintenance, insurance, certified operators, storage. So what do? You rent. And that's exactly the moment a rental company starts making money off of you. The construction equipment rental industry in the US alone generates over $60 billion in revenue every single year. It is not a niche market. It is not a side business. It is an empire built on the simple, elegant fact that most contractors don't want to own. They want to build. The story of equipment rental in America begins, like most great business stories, with someone who saw something everyone else was ignoring. It was the 1950s. America was building itself highways, suburbs, skyscrapers. Construction was exploding, and every single contractor was buying their own machines, because that's simply what you did. Ownership was pride. Ownership was control, but there were men, a handful of them, who noticed something strange. The equipment sat idle, constantly. A contractor would buy a $40,000 crane, use it for 6 weeks, and then park it in a yard for 11 months. Then do it all over again. What if instead of selling machines, you sold time on machines? What if one machine could serve 10 contractors in a year instead of one? That question, asked quietly, with no fanfare, became the foundation of a $60 billion industry. Companies like United Rentals, Sunbelt Rentals, and Blue Line Rental didn't just stumble into success. They understood something fundamental about the nature of tools, time, and money. And that understanding is worth dissecting very carefully. Here is the core of the rental business model, and it is more elegant than most people realize. A rental company buys a piece of equipment, let's say an excavator, cost $120,000. They rent it out at $2,500 per week. If that excavator rents for just 45 weeks over its useful life, not even full utilization, the company has collected $112,500, almost the full purchase price back, and the machine is still worth $40,000 to $60,000 on the used market. Total return, potentially $172,500 on a $120,000 investment before you even factor in the fleet. Now multiply that by a fleet of 500 machines, of 5,000 machines, of 200,000 machines, which is roughly what United Rentals, the largest equipment rental company in the world, operates. The math becomes almost obscene. But simple rental revenue is just the surface. The real money, the money that separates the good operators from the great ones, runs much deeper. Stream 1. Damage waivers and insurance. Every rental contract offers optional damage protection. The customer can decline it, but most don't. They're at a job site with a $300,000 piece of machinery they don't own, and the last thing they want is a lawsuit if something goes wrong. That waiver might cost $75 to $200 extra per day. The insurance company processes a claim every few weeks. The rental company pockets the difference almost every single day. Dream 2. Fuel and environmental fees. Equipment goes out with a full tank. If it comes back anything less, the customer pays at a premium. Not pump price, rental company price. Sometimes 2 or 3 times the market rate. Every single rental, every single time. Dream 3. Consumables and accessories. You need an excavator. Great. Do you need the bucket attachment, the hydraulic thumb, the safety kit, the tie, downstraps, the operator manual? Each of those is an upsell. Each generates margin. The customer rarely comes in knowing exactly what they need, and the rental company is always happy to help them figure it out. Dream 4. Delivery and pickup. Most contractors can't haul a 40,000-pound excavator themselves, so the rental company offers delivery and pickup, each for a fee, sometimes a substantial one. A machine that rents for $1,000 a day might generate an additional $400 in transport fees per rental cycle. On a busy machine, that's thousands of dollars a month, just for driving a truck. Stream 5. Maintenance and repair upsells on customer-owned equipment. The most sophisticated rental companies don't just rent. They offer to service your own machines. Oil changes, inspections, parts, you already trust them with the equipment you rented. Why not let them touch the equipment you own? It's called fleet management, and it is one of the stickiest, highest margin services in the entire industry. There is one number every equipment rental operator watches more carefully than any other. Not revenue, not profit, utilization rate. Utilization rate is the percentage of time a piece of equipment is actually out on rent versus sitting in the yard. It is the heartbeat of the entire business. At 40% utilization, a machine barely covers its costs. At 60%, the business is healthy. At 70% and above, the machine is printing money. The best operators in the industry obsess over this number. They track every machine by GPS. They know which machines are sitting, which are out, which are due back, which customers are likely to extend. They run algorithms, actual machine learning models, to predict demand weeks in advance and pre-position equipment in the right geographic markets. This is why the big players can crush the small ones. A local mom and pop rental shop with 50 machines might hit 45% utilization by gut instinct and word of mouth. United Rentals, with hundreds of locations, proprietary software, and data on millions of rental transactions, targets 70% or higher. Same machines. Completely different economics. Here's where the story gets personal. Because for every massive corporation pulling levers at the top of this industry, there are thousands of smaller operators who built their empires one machine at a time. Take the story of the contractor turned rental owner, a pattern repeated across America. He starts out swinging a hammer, does small jobs, builds a reputation, saves enough to buy his first excavator, uses it on his own jobs. Then one slow month, a buddy asks to borrow it. He says, "Sure, $800 for the week." That week, the machine made more money sitting on his buddy's job site than it would have made on his own. He does it again, then again. Then he buys a second machine specifically to rent out, then a third. Within 5 years, he's got 12 machines and a waiting list. He stops swinging the hammer entirely. The machines work for him now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, rain or shine. That is the power of the model. The asset keeps generating. The owner sleeps. The equipment never takes a day off, but it would be dishonest to tell only the upside of this story. Equipment rental is not a passive income paradise. It comes with risks that can shatter an operation that looks bulletproof on paper. Risk 1, the depreciation trap. Every machine is depreciating from the moment it leaves the lot. An excavator that costs $120,000 today might be worth $40,000 in 7 years. And that's if it's been maintained religiously. If it comes back beaten up from a hard job site, the repair bill can eat an entire month's rental revenue. Risk 2, the economy cycle. Construction rental is deeply tied to the broader economy. When interest rates rise and construction slows, rental demand drops fast. The machines don't stop depreciating just because the phone stopped ringing. Companies that expanded their fleets aggressively during the boom years of the 2010s found themselves sitting on mountains of depreciating iron when the market cooled. Risk 3, customer non-return and theft. It happens more than anyone in the industry likes to admit. A contractor runs into financial trouble. The equipment doesn't come back. GPS tracking helps, but recovery is costly, slow, and sometimes impossible if the machine crosses a state line or gets stripped for parts. The best operators price this risk into their models before it happens. The naive ones learn the hard way. Now, here's what the industry veterans know that nobody tells you up front. Secret 1. The best customers are never the biggest ones. The large general contractors have purchasing departments. They negotiate hard, demand volume discounts, and pay net 60. They're a headache wrapped in a big check. The best customers are the mid-sized contractors. Too big to own their own fleet. Too small to have leverage. They pay on time. They take care of the machines. They call the same rental rep every time because they don't want to shop around. Loyalty is the secret currency of this industry. One loyal mid-sized contractor is worth more than 10 one-off customers who haggle over every dollar. Secret 2. The used equipment sale is a profit center disguised as a clearance event. When a rental company retires a machine, Typically after 3 to 5 years, they sell it at auction or direct. Because of accelerated depreciation accounting, the book value of that machine is often near zero. But the machine still sells for tens of thousands of dollars. That sale goes straight to the bottom line. The machine paid off its capital cost in rentals. Everything from the sale is pure gravy. Secret 3. Software is the new moat. The rental companies quietly winning in the 2020s aren't winning on fleet size alone. They're winning on data. Proprietary software that predicts when a machine needs service before it breaks down. Apps that let customers book, track, and extend rentals without calling anyone. Telematics systems that alert an operator the moment a machine is being used outside agreed parameters. The companies that can't afford to build this infrastructure, they get squeezed. The ones who invest in it, they compound. Here's what makes this industry quietly extraordinary. Every hospital built, every school constructed, every road paved, every bridge erected. Behind it all, invisible to the public, was a rental company that made it financially possible. Because when a contractor can rent a $300,000 crane for $4,000 a week instead of buying it, they can take on more projects, build more things, employ more people, move faster. Equipment rental industry doesn't build anything itself. It makes everything buildable. And in exchange for that service, it collects quietly, consistently, relentlessly from every job site in America. The machines don't care who's watching. They just keep working. And the money, it keeps flowing. If this video gave you a new way of seeing the world around you, the business hiding in plain sight at every construction site you pass, consider subscribing. Every week, we pull back the curtain on the industries that quietly shape your life. The next time you're stuck in traffic next to a job site, you'll see it differently. You'll see the money.